Here I'm going to go over the design of the axle support part in assignment 2. From the top-down view, you can see that there are basically these, the base is designed of these 3 circles, one with a radius of 25 or a diameter 50, and then a radius of 14 or a diameter of 28, and then these holes here that are 12 millimeters in diameter at 90 millimeters apart. Then we have this, the axle support part is elevated on this support here. You can see from the side view, and it has some chamfers on it. The base is 10 millimeters thick. The kind of strategy that I'm going to use is I'm going to design the base first and then create a different sketch for this circular part and then even a different sketch for the support. So going to Inventor, we can go File, New, and we'll go Standard Millimeter Part, Create, and then create a 2D sketch on the XY plane. Going to make a 50 millimeter center circle, and then 28 millimeter circles here. That's 14 radius, 28 diameter. We want these dimension to be 90 millimeters apart or 45 from the center. And so that I can dimension the other one here. And notice that I can click here to make those the same dimension. I also want to constrain these so that they are the centers all lie on the x-axis. Then we have 12 millimeter holes that I'll put in right here. And then I'm just going to connect all of these with some line segments. We will make them tangent in a moment. I don't want to make it horizontal, so I'm going to redo that one. And so now that they're created, we can just go tangent, click the line, click the circle, line, circle. Just go around and do that for each line at both sides. Once that's done, we can then extrude this to 10 millimeters for the base. So I'm going to hit E for extrude, and I'm going to select everything except the hole cutouts and make that 10 millimeters. And I'm just going to extrude in the positive Z direction. I don't need a symmetric extrude about the x-axis. So we have that. Now, looking at the model, we can see that this part here, the circular part, is 36 millimeters in diameter, the outer, 22 on the inner, and it is 48 millimeters from the base. And we can see here that it is extruded symmetrically here to a width of 24 millimeters. So 36, 22, and 48 up. Okay, so to do that, I am going to expand the origin tab and find that central plane, the YZ plane, select it, make a sketch on that plane. Then I can draw a circle that is, I think it was 36. We can always go back and check if I'm wrong. 22. Then we want a dimension between this and the base here to be 48. We do want to ensure that this here is aligned here. Notice I'm hitting the horizontal button, but it's giving me a vertical line. That's just because I need to rotate this, and then I could do like a vertical between here and here. If I didn't want to rotate it, I could still just do the vertical and then go between here and here. Now that we have that constrained into place, we can extrude that. And here we do want to symmetric extrude to 24 millimeters. So now we have this floating here. What we need to do is now attach these with this support here. That has a width of 12 millimeters. It's angled at 44 degrees with between each other, and it's centered on the piece. And then there are some filleted corners, as you can better see in the 3D model, and there's some chamfered edges that we'll put in at the end. So we see that this is 44 and it is 12 thick. Oh, one other piece is at the top here. It's 20 millimeters across where the straight line, not the filleted corner, but the straight line of this intersects with the circle. So I'll show you that in the design. So I'm going to do another sketch on that YZ plane that bisects the part. So select that, do another sketch, and start drawing. We can, I'm actually just going to do a cross-sectional view, so function F7 to give me the cutaway, because really the sketch that I'm making is bisecting the part. I'm going to project the geometry of this and project the geometry of the base here, just so I have lines to select. And then I'm going to draw a line that goes here down to the base and here down to the base. We do know that these 2 points are going to be horizontally aligned with each other, and they're 20 millimeters apart. And so what I'm going to do is just do a horizontal constraint between this point and that point. And then I'm going to dimension the distance between this point and this point to be 20, as shown in the drawing. Then I know that this angle here needs to be 44, so I can dimension this and this. It's wanting to give me a line dimension, not an angular dimension. There we go. I need that to be, I think, 44. But they're not symmetric here. And so what I can do is show that we have this axis here, the z-axis. And so the angle between one of these and the z-axis needs to be 22 degrees. So I'm just going to go, dimension is still selected. So I'm going to click this, go over here, click the z-axis, and then make that 22. For some reason it's not letting me do that. Let me let me delete both of those and then make them individually 22 and see what happens. So I'm going to make between this and this to be 22, and this to be 22. For some reason it's not letting me do that, and I'm not sure the reason. So I'm going to just remake that line. I'm not sure what the issue is, so I'm just going to go here to here, make this angle 22, not the center line, but between here and here 22. And then I do want to make sure that these two are horizontal with each other. And then that has a 20 millimeter separation. So yeah, I'm not sure what that issue was, but if you run into something like that, you can just start over again and see where you can get it. So now that this looks right, I'm just going to extrude it. I'm going to do a symmetric extrude, and it is 12 millimeters thick. Notice a symmetric extrude is going to extrude in each direction. And the reason why it kind of looks funny is because I'm doing a cross-sectional view here when I'm designing. So now that we have that, all that is left are the chamfers and the fillets. Looking at the drawing, we have a 2 millimeter chamfer here at 45 degrees, another 2 millimeter chamfer there, and then we have these 3 millimeter fillets around each of the edges here and then up at the top here. So going to the model, we can hit the chamfer button, which is here. Right now it is at 2 millimeters, and it is also defaulted at 45 degrees or equal distance. And so all we need to do is just click here, this edge over here, and this edge here, and hit apply. So that puts those chamfers in. And then finally we need to do the fillet at 3 millimeters. And that is along the base here. So you can rotate around and get all the fillets around the base. And then we have one up here and one up here. And then hit OK. And there's the part. So then we can orient it in a way that we can see it well for the assignment. Windows Shift S, where you can grab this and paste it into the assignment. Just paste it right down here, resize it. And then also we want the model browser. So Windows Shift S and grab this part. And then paste that in the assignment. Make sure that you save the part and then you can start on the drawing after that. Okay, that's it. I'll have the drawing in a separate video.